10 States of Life Which Everyone Experiences by Barbara Cahill, Part 1. It is very difficult to understand what life really is. As we look at our own lives, we find moment-by-moment changes. We may wake up full of the joys of spring. A letter we receive can enhance that feeling or put us into a rage. The journey to work can have the same effect. Once at work, our mood will be influenced by what we have to do and what sort of temper everyone else is in. If we happen to have a bad day, a couple of drinks may bring us temporary relief. Travelling home may annoy us again, while our favourite meal or TV programme could make us calmer once more. These changing attitudes are explained by the theory of the 10 states or worlds changing into one another. Buddhism teaches that our experience of the world and our own inner life can always be expressed in 10 basic states. They exist potentially within each of us, and we experience them through interaction with the environment. Each of these 10 states has the potential to change into any of the others, so that no matter what state we may be in, we can bring forth another state in a moment. Buddhism calls the lowest of the 10 states hell. Hell is continuous torment and anguish. We cannot initiate action or affect our situation in any way. We are severely restricted. This brings incredible frustration and anger. The world of hell is essentially anger or indignation. Uncontrollable anger is an impulse innate in life, which tries to destroy not only one's own being but others as well. Therefore, the agonizing state of hell is the greatest and deepest agony of all. Nichiren Daishonin penetrated the truth of hell and defined it as anger. In the second state, called hunger, desires dominate us. Even if a desire is satisfied, we are only temporarily appeased before hungering after something else. Of course, like any of the 10 states, hunger can have good and bad results. Hunger for knowledge has been the driving force of material civilization and the inspiration behind technical progress. But as greed, it has led to war and pollution. Instinct is the basis of the third state, called animality. It signifies a day-to-day existence without thought for the results of action. Our outlook is one of stupidity because reason, wisdom, and volition are all dominated by instinct. We present no clear picture of ourselves to others. We are at the beck and call of those we consider superior, while we dominate those weaker than ourselves. The fourth of the 10 states is anger. We have the impression of being bigger and better than everyone. Everything and everyone else is small and trifling. We have an insatiable desire to win and look for conflict and competition. We believe we are stronger than anyone else, and this often has disastrous results. We like to appear benevolent and trustworthy, but in our hearts we have no respect for others and despise them. We look for a chance to challenge and destroy them. He who is in the world of anger, motivated by the warped desire to win at everything, despises others and tries to justify and value himself above all else. He is like a hawk sweeping the sky in search of prey. He may have superficial benevolence, righteousness, propriety, wisdom, and sincerity, and seem to have some kind of moral sense, but his heart remains in anger. The Sanskrit for the fifth state of tranquility means creatures who can think. In Nichiren Daishonin's Buddhism, it means the tranquil, humane state most natural to a person. The state of tranquility is characterized by behavior which might be said to be fair and unaffected. A person in the state of tranquility desires peace and happiness. We respond to the mores and codes of society, having more freedom and a surer foundation for action than in the previous four states. However, since we are emotional, we cannot stay permanently in the state of tranquility, even though this state is very natural to us. An adverse effect of this state is that, being peaceful and calm, we are lulled into not making effort to realize our full potential. In the state of rapture, the sixth state, we feel buoyant as if walking on air. This state comes about when what we desire is achieved. There are 3 levels of satisfaction. Rapture, one feels when fulfilling 1. Material and physical desires, 2. Social desires, and 3. Spiritual desires. The third type of rapture is related to our spiritual flow. Here, our psychic energy is high. We enrich and expand our lives, often through self-realization and creativity. Time seems to fly past, and we are intensely aware. But if we lose what we have gained, rapture can easily collapse. Because of the good fortune and influence characteristic of this state, we may find ourselves in a very powerful position politically, in business or community life, but inherent in rapture is negligence and carelessness. These undermine our character and mean that we are not able to fulfill what we have led society to expect of us. Even though they each have positive characteristics, these 6 states are called lower because a person in whom they are the basic tendency is not realizing his full potential, but is wandering weakly from state to state depending on the conditions around him. The 4 remaining states are known collectively as the 4 noble worlds because we have to make effort to attain them, and once attained, we gain a deeper satisfaction. Although we must make this effort to experience these 4 states, once we have succeeded, we become more humane because we can at last shape the direction of our lives instead of drifting helplessly from one to another of the 6 lower states. The state of learning is characterized by reflection. Here we must have an open and sincere mind. If, when we go to work, we are concerned only with timekeeping and getting the work done, we cut ourselves off from the state of learning and remain in the lower 6 states. As soon as we try to apply ourselves to the work, using it as a source of future growth, we are in the state of learning. Learning is not just the prerogative of scholars and intellectuals. Anyone who has a seeking mind can bring about this state. The state of realization is inclined towards cultivating and polishing the self. It is a self-awakening to some truth or principle brought about by our relationship with someone or something. The emphasis here is on our creative nature, a spiritual awakening because we intuitively perceive something. Great philosophers and scientists have often written of their sudden intuitions. Such awakenings often lead to a total revolution in a person's thoughts and life. This is not exclusive to artists and philosophers. Anyone can refine himself and develop his intuitive wisdom if he makes enough effort and disciplines himself. As soon as someone in learning or realization achieves what they have set out to do and experiences the peak of joy, they are vulnerable to conceit and egoism. If our lives are strongly influenced by these two states, we may find that our insight and attitude of self-improvement leads to arrogance and stubbornness. We become self-satisfied and think we know it all. We may feel we have escaped from the six lower states and that we are better than the people in those worlds. As soon as we believe this, though, we will be gripped again by the lower states of life. People in learning and realization often attain positions of prominence in society. If then they begin to be influenced by their negative qualities, they can become destructive, and this could, because of the respect accorded to them, have an adverse effect and influence even on the entire world. One example of the negative aspect of learning and realization is the difficulty of maintaining a seeking mind with regard to Buddhism. As soon as we have grasped various principles, we are likely to decide that we understand the nature of Buddhahood, and we stay with the theory of enlightenment rather than pushing ourselves to actually attaining it. Many people have a natural tendency towards theoretical stagnation. To attain the high state of life, this must be challenged. The ninth state, called Bodhisattva, is where one makes effort for the happiness of others at the expense of comfort or even life itself. It is close to the positive qualities of maternal love. This state is based on the principle that true happiness is derived from action which takes away another's suffering and gives joy. We take on and feel another's suffering as if it were our own. Yet even this noble state has its negative tendency. Helping others can very easily develop into self-sacrifice, in which a person places himself at a level above those who are in need, causing him or her to sink immediately into the lower states of life. Many professions, such as medicine and education, offer great opportunity for bringing out the state of Bodhisattva. But the essential nature of Bodhisattva is found in the lives of those following the path of the Bodhisattva of the earth, who, in the Lotus Sutra, vowed that they would risk their lives to spread Buddhism at the time we now live in, thereby enabling others to realize their own Buddhahood and to establish their own eternal, indestructible happiness. The original mission and essence of the Bodhisattvas of the earth is to maintain the fundamental law called Nam Myoho Renge Kyo and stand on their own, inactively contributing to the happiness of themselves and of other people and society. The value of a person does not depend on their fame, status, or authority. Daisaku Ikeda has described the double effort of those following the way of bodhisattvas of the earth towards their own inner development and to help others. Most important in accomplishing the ultimate purpose is to discover a method to cultivate oneself through benevolent humane acts and thereby unlock the energy of compassion that will well up from the depths of one's life. One must reform himself through the action and inner change. He must continue always to be humane and benevolent to others, and at the same time to draw out his inherent life force to make his efforts fruitful. By a double effort, both inside and outside one's life, he can build a solid foundation upon which he can live fully and with integrity, never yielding to difficulty. A person in the state of Buddha, the 10th highest state, may appear to be very ordinary, yet the awakening of their inherent Buddha nature leads them to the source of cosmic life force. They are able to understand all phenomena of life in the universe and the ultimate law underlying them, including everything in the world and society. By drawing on the source of the cosmic life force, their own life force becomes unlimited, able to permeate the entire universe. Then they have true freedom. Such a life state is the full manifestation of Buddhahood. The aspiration for Buddhahood exists in a realm even deeper than the desire for existence. Because it lies within the deepest sphere of each individual life, it is hard to perceive. The energy within the depths of life, which seeks to integrate with the cosmic energy, is the deepest impulse we have, and, believing in its existence, we must begin to open it up until we experience it as Buddhahood.